There is something about the existence of black holes. These fucking bitches grabbing everything without having any permission of anyone. Yeah, those things. Is it possible for two black holes to collide? Once they come too close that they cannot escape each other's gravity, they will merge to become one bigger black hole. Such an event would be extremely violent. Even when simulating this event on powerful computers, we cannot fully sink it in. However, we do know that a black hole merger would produce tremendous amount of energy and send massive ripple waves through the space-time structure of the universe. Nobody has witnessed a collision of black holes yet. However, there are many black holes in the universe, and it is not unreasonable to assume that they might collide. In fact, we know of galaxies in which two supermassive black holes move dangerously close to each other. Theoretical models predict that these black holes will path toward each other until they eventually collide. But there is a happy ending in this petrifying scenario. The only actually way to beat black holes is just by waiting. Wait long enough and you quote-unquote produce something called Hawking radiation, which basically reduces the mass and energy of black holes and eventually shrinks them to annihilation. In November 2013, astronomers reported based on the Kepler space mission data there could be as many as 40 billion Earth-sized planets orbiting in the habitable zones of sun-like stars and red dwarfs in the Milky Way galaxy, 11 billion of which may be orbiting sun-like stars. Nevertheless, some of them may have a welcoming sign of life. Notably, in April 2007, a team in which the headman was Stephen Audrey, based in Switzerland, announced the discovery of two new super-Earths within the Gliss 581 planetary system, both on the edge of the habitable zone around the star, where liquid water may be possible on the surface. In this case, the question still stands: are we alone in this universe? Stars, as we see them today on Earth, are bright lights, which is true, but they also have life. Once some certain types of stars die, they produce a magnificent light view which is called a supernova. Our planet and generally our Milky Way galaxy has observed thousands and millions of them, but the human race on Earth has only observed 2 to 3. The most recent one was caught in our galaxy and it was the Kepler supernova in 1604, but statistical observation of supernovae in other galaxies suggest they occur on average about 3 times every century in the Milky Way. These supernovas have outstanding speeds at velocities up to 30,000 km per second or 10% of the speed of light, which means they pass from the first west point of the equator to the last east point of it in fucking 1.5 seconds. But they can be freaking weird. For example, this type of supernova is called SN 1987A and it happened in 1987, but the distance that stands from 168,000 light years away, which means that we saw this supernova as it happened 168,000 years ago. Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system and has an average surface temperature of around 450 degrees Celsius. Interestingly enough though, Venus is not the closest planet to the Sun. Mercury is, but because Mercury has no atmosphere to adjust its temperature, it has a large fluctuation, which basically means that the temperature is not steady to sustain balance, as well as the fact that Venus has a slow axis rotation, which takes 243 Earth days to complete one Venus day. The orbit of Venus around the Sun is 225 Earth days, making a year on Venus 18 Earth days less than a Venus day, which means that one day on Venus is longer than 1 year. Some things in space can be fucking weird. In terms of sheer size, the star UY Scuti is considered the biggest known star to ever exist. It's only 30 times the Sun of its mass and approximately 5,000 light years away. If we had placed this planet to the center of our solar system, it would have been extended up to Jupiter. Yeah, that big. Discovered in 2009, one of the smallest galaxies in the universe, so-called Segue 2, is so old, about 12 billion years old, and it contains roughly 1,000 stars.
The galaxy is so old that the stars were probably among the first ones to have been formed in the universe. They are also very weak as the metallicity is very low, so in other words, if a big rock hits them, they basically get demolished. On the other hand, the biggest known to this day galaxy is called IC 1101 and contains about 100 trillion stars. To compare it with Milky Way's amount of stars, ours contains about 400 billion stars. To top it all off, the largest known superstructure in the universe is called Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall. This beast was discovered in 2013 and is named a galactic filament, which basically means that it has a fuck ton of galaxies. But the strangest thing is that the structure is 10 billion light years away, which means that we see the structure as if it was shown 10 billion years ago. However, the universe is only 13.8 billion years old, which means that to form such a big of a supercluster in about 3.8 billion years time is simply considered impossible compared to our solar system, which took about 4.6 billion years to form. The structure is simply too colossal to even exist. Thanks for watching, watch again, and let me know in the comments below what you want to see next. Bye.